how would you like to make your first million? And today we have Maja Taylor, which is the founder of Entrepreneur Source. So this question is right in your backyard. Tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
That's a loaded question, Harry. Before I answer that, I want to thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I think your work
Pleasure.
is amazing. People need to hear what you have to say. I loved listening to several of your other guests, and there's so many nuggets in there. There's so much knowledge that the world needs. I'm honored to be
Thank
part
you.
of that group of people.
We are honored to
Yeah.
have you.
So I want to say to your listeners, right, what you're doing, I think, is amazing and it needs to be supported. I know it's a lot of work. So, listeners, if you're hearing Harry today for the first time, or if it's your 10th time or whatever, and you haven't done it yet, please give a 5-star rating because I think Harry's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. You too.
um, so the 5 steps to make your first meal. I think it takes more than 5 steps, right? But let's start with the
Mm-hmm.
most important one.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to have goals, clear goals, big goals, and they do need to scare you a little bit. If they don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough. Really get clarity on your why, because when times get tough or things aren't working the way you think they should, that's what's going to keep you going, right? You need to be really clear on your why. So you have my book here, Start With Why, is I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek's work, and
Me
it
too.
lays itself through my career. Even when I wasn't an entrepreneur, right? You need to know why you're doing something. So that was two. Number three, find your tribe. Nobody works on an island. You're
Wow.
not going to be successful on your own. Get yourself connected with your community, with other entrepreneurs, people who lift you up, people who make you be better. Never be the brilliant one in the room, never be the smartest one in the room. If you are, maybe it's time to find a new room. And I stole that, right? That's Steve Jobs actually who said that. I'm stealing that. But I think it's so true, right? You need to keep growing yourself. So find yourself mentors. Um, I think you can take all the courses. We've all done it, right? We've read all the books, we've taken all the classes. You've learned some things yourself of what works, what doesn't. But mentorship can be the differentiator for you, right? So be honest about where you think you need to grow a little bit and then find people who are strong in that category and learn, right? Learn and absorb. I guess number four, how you're going to get the capital to get yourself started. I think that's really important. I've seen most businesses who struggle or fail, they fail because of not smart budgeting, not smart capital procurement, or not enough. I think that's where they get stuck. A lot of them fail because of that. And I guess the fifth one, maybe that ranks higher than number five, mindset. In your business, mindset is everything because your business will reflect what's inside of you. So it is a daily ritual that you need to create for yourself to be at your best because your business will reflect your efforts, your connections, your learnings, how you're thinking. If you want to level up, you need to level up your mind. So practicing self-care is not selfish. It's
Love it.
important, right? So whatever that means for me, for you, if you need more rest, go get more rest. If you need to change your diet and have more nutritious food, go do that. If you need to move more, okay, great. If you need to take a class, if you need to go to networking meetings, whatever it is, focus in on that and take care of that. Because the business cannot run with you being depleted.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Then
there's
Maya,
more. The list could get longer, but let's pause there.
and then Maya, so my question to you is like entrepreneurs, we need help, right? It becomes a very lonely journey. For example, my parents, they are no entrepreneurs. Nobody's entrepreneur in my family. So I started my business kind of by accident. And there I was all alone, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs, this is how we start. We just by accident, we have something, we sell it, we make some money. Oh, let's do more. And when we open our eyes, we are in business without knowing about marketing, about this. I remember after 6 months, my business, somebody came, oh, you need to do tax. I'm like, what's that? Yes, you need an accountant. Do I need it? Yes, you do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of when you start it kind of by accident, you are without tribe, as you said, right? And it's difficult to find tribes of entrepreneurs when you are out there by yourself trying to make some money, trying to survive, especially in the 0 to 1 journey. So that's why I love the entrepreneur resources thing. So tell us a little bit more about this. And what's your story? Why did you came with this idea in the first place?
Yeah, what's my story? Hi, I'm Maja Taylor. I am a career ownership coach with the Entrepreneur Source. Nobody in my family, my immediate family, was an entrepreneur because you need to go to school and you need to get good grades and you go get yourself a degree and then a good job, right? That's what we do.
Yeah, I arrived
Um,
until the degree. The part of find a good job, I struggle with that one a lot, but until the degree, I did it.
that's funny. I did have a very rewarding and successful corporate career. I've worked in Europe and in US, kind of traveled and worked all over within corporate America, corporate Europe, I guess. And I really enjoyed it. I met some really incredible people. I learned a lot. I've worked for some companies who did some really great work for humanity. And at some point, it feels like we all get to a point in our career where you're wondering, is this all there is? I've been successful. I've been able to, build my life. And maybe even saved up a little nest egg for retirement. Maybe that's your story. Because a lot of my clients get to this point where, like, oh, I am continually contributing to somebody else's dream, to somebody else's equity and wealth. What about me? Like, could I do this on my own? People who have wondered or flirted with the idea of entrepreneurship, those are the people I work with. And some statistics show that about 70% of the working adult population has wondered, could I be my own boss? Do I want to do this?
They
So
are
it's a,
listening the podcast, by the way.
yeah,
They are
and it's a
listening this kind
scary
of
step.
stuff all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary step, right? I was in those shoes. And wouldn't it be nice if somebody took us by the hand and kind of showed us how to do this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then my next question goes attached to this one, Maya, which is from our listeners. We have our listeners that entrepreneurs, people that own small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, but also people in corporate that want to be
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, that want to do this transition, which is something that you have done successfully. So what's the message that you have for people in corporate America that are listening to this podcast? Well, I wish that I had that courage. Look at her, she has her own business. However, there is one difference. Okay, when you are in corporate, if somebody come and say, "Well, I need you to do this," you can say, "Look, this is not my job." Okay, when you have your business, everything is your job. Especially in product market fit, the 0 to 1. And the other thing, so what do you think some people might incorporate, get in love with the idea, oh, I can fill my own calendar, I can be my own boss, I'm gonna fulfill my own dreams, but being an entrepreneur is skill based. The more you practice, the better you become. I have nothing to do with be great in a corporate job. There is the difference from day and night. You feel like you start all over again. So tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly of the transition from corporate to entrepreneur. And what's your message for the people in corporate listening?
Mm, great question. So you would say you're partially right that it has nothing to do. One thing that surprised me working this business was how many people don't see themselves as capable. that they already have a lot of skill sets, strengths, and background that really transitions well into
Especially if you're coming
entrepreneurship.
from corporate,
Exactly.
have a lot of
So I
knowledge,
would
have
say
skills, right?
professionals have a lot of skills. I work with mid-level senior leadership in most cases, and I'm surprised by how sometimes they think that, do I really have what it takes? Yes, let me show you. So working with me is really an opportunity to go on that educational journey. First about yourself, and then let's see if there are business models that fit you, that can get you where you want to go. But setting the vision and the goals for yourself is first, right? So I use some assessments for that. By the way, to your listeners, if you reach out to me on my social media, which I'm sure Harry has links that he can
No, you
provide.
tell us now. What is your social
Oh,
media?
okay. So if you go on my website, majataylor.com, that's MAJATAYLOR.com, and get yourself scheduled on my calendar. There's a booking link right there. And we just have an introductory call. I will give you a free DISC assessment, which will help you understand how you prefer to work, what your communication style is, and what your motivators are. This is the first step to helping you find a good fit. And if your answer is, okay, I'm going to stay in corporate America, okay, that it'll still help you. You'll still gain insights from that. But the goal is really to help you find a fit for you and how you like to work. What are the strengths that you're bringing to the table, and where do we need a little bit more support? Because there is support out there. So I have resources that I can connect you to, but we'll start with the assessment, and that is like a $200 value. You'll get the free assessment and a full debrief with me.
That's a
So
great
that's to
first
get,
step for those one that want to do the transition, no? Or for someone
yes,
that they at least work on themselves if they really want that transition. Yeah.
yeah,
So
it-
maybe they're more happy where they are. However, my problem that I have with corporate, well, my problem that I see is that it
yeah,
doesn't matter how good you are. Somebody can come next day and say, look, that's it. There is no more
for
job for
sure.
you. COVID can happen, anything can happen. A lot of
Yeah,
people that been in this podcast, well, Harry, I'm in corporate. Guess what happened? COVID
yeah,
came, I got fired, and then I decided to do my own business. Of course, they're
yes,
doing very well because they have a high skill.
they
However,
do.
they have a hard time because they didn't plan effectively for that transition. And
Yes,
again, it takes uh, being an entrepreneur is a skill. The more you practice, the better you become. It's not the
right.
same. Like, if you're in corporate now, then you reach the website of Maya, and then you fill your questions, and then you have a chat, and then, well, what product you want to have? Okay, this one's better, this one not. Then you start to try on Saturday, then on Sunday, you start to make a little bit of money, and then you start to see if you really like it. Yeah, and you really like what gradually, right? That why Maya, the people, something drastic needs to happen.
Yep,
Fire, somebody dies, I got
yep,
divorced. Why people wait until something drastic happen in their life to start looking to themselves and to start to become who they really are? Why do you think that we see this pattern again and again and again?
okay, well, because the pain isn't great enough, right? People don't move if the pain isn't great enough. So my offer is let's
Mm.
start doing that before you
Or when
you
they have
get laid off.
children, have children. The other day I
Yeah.
went to see my friends. They have a little girl, and the guys were telling me, Harry, you know what? 9 to 5 doesn't work for me anymore. I like, how come? Tell me, no, no. I was very happy before with the 9 to 5, but now I have a little girl. Now I need to take the girl to school. I want to spend more time with her. So this nine to
Mm-hmm.
five thing in the structure that it is for
Yeah,
corporate, it doesn't work for me. So sometimes even life change, uh,
absolutely.
and things that you were
Yeah,
happy before, it doesn't work anymore. And we
yeah.
had to find, try to create our own job. Yeah, from here, we're rooting for everybody to become an entrepreneur. Yeah, we need more people. Yeah, we need to buy that tribe of entrepreneur. However, it's going to
Well,
take something, Maya. So tell us exactly your biggest challenge in that transition and how you become that challenge.
well, I think it's always
How about
easier
working on
to,
weekends?
what was that?
Working on weekends, at least at the beginning, until you need to get your first clients and so on, right? This one for sure. You're
Biggest challenge is that people just psych themselves out and let's fear stop them, right? This is why education is so important because knowledge is the antidote to fear, right? And that's what I provide, really. So let's figure out what you're trying to achieve, set the vision and goals. And then we're going to narrow down which kind of industries or business models might be better fit for you than others. And then we're going to learn and explore more about these business models before you make any kind of commitments, before you even think about signing up for anything. Let's learn more about it so you get comfortable. My job is to get you to a point of clarity. I think a lot of people are just afraid to take that first step because they think they'll get duped. People
Mm.
have been, taken advantage of, or maybe the corporate
The
grind is
fact that
just so
they are
exhausting.
the
Yeah,
fact that they are brilliant in corporate, that
yeah,
doesn't, when they go to entrepreneurial world, that they are a baby. They you
yeah,
could be the highest paid whatever in your corporate position, but when you have your own business, it's different. You're taking your own
yeah,
decisions. If you
right.
make a mistake, you don't get paid.
Exactly.
The dynamic change completely. So
Yeah,
if you make a small mistake, but if you make a big mistake, you lose a lot of money. So you have to become more, like I said, effective, and I think that do it gradually. That transition is how I. Even when I built my first business, I remember I was working in London as a room service, yeah.
yeah,
And parallel with that, in the Hilton Hotel, I was doing room service, and parallel to that, after I finished room service, I was doing my property business, yeah. I remember that when they ordered burger, I was wishing, okay, I wish that it's floor 20 or 27, because if it goes high, I can text in the lift about my viewing for the house and everything. It was the only place in the hotel that the manager was not around, the supervisor in the lift. uh, you build your business gradually. That's how I see it, Maya. Okay.
yeah.
And then you check if this is something that you really want to pursue. Don't do it. A lot of people come to this podcast and say, "Well, I changed Harry and I opened my business because I got burned out. I couldn't have this life anymore, so I just changed." Yeah, sometimes life pushes you to a limit that see you take the crazy decision. That's it. I cannot have it anymore. Or I got burnout. Um, I think that the approach that we're talking about, Maya, today, like get an initial approach, do it more gradually, plan effectively.
Let's plan it. Yeah.
It's gonna save a lot of time and pain.
Yes.
And the other day in this podcast, somebody went out of corporate, and he went out of corporate. He got burned out, and he said, "Well, I took all my savings, and then he bought a restaurant, sandwich shop." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Because I
Wow.
had one of these one, I lost a lot of money. It's very operational intense. You really need to know about food. You
Yeah.
need to know what you're doing if you are doing this restaurant thing. Because I've been there without knowing what to do, and it's not nice. It's one of the most operational and tough business. Especially the restaurant is big like my one. The
Yeah.
whole, I could walk in into the whole freezer of that thing. When the energy bills arrive, it was huge. I'm like, this is how we pay for electricity. So, doing this thing like, okay, I go by now. I'm not gonna have my own business. I don't care, whatever. Put the money and let me do this one like this. It doesn't really work. There is no shortcut. The entrepreneur journey is, like I said, it's a skill based. The more you practice, the better you become. And the only shortcut that you can have is have someone, a consultant like you, to specialize on that. I had done that transition. Unfortunately, I cannot help these people because my latest job 18 years ago was a room service in the Hilton. That was my latest paid job that I had
Yeah.
18 years ago. So for more than I can help you, I cannot help you if you're in corporate and you want to do the transition, because I don't know what it's like on the other side, to be honest with you. But if you have
Mm.
someone that had been in both sides, that had done this transition, because I've been the entrepreneurial side, and I'm telling you, it's rough, especially if you don't know how to what you're doing in the beginning, and if you don't have the skill, and again, and you don't have resources, you don't even know that resources exist for this kind of thing.
But
So
that's what I offer, right? The
yeah, yeah,
resource
yeah, I find it
before you get
very
into it.
valuable.
I
No.
wouldn't have done it. I
Not only
tried
for
to do it
people,
on my own.
sorry to interrupt you, Maya, not only to the people in corporate, but also to the people that are not in corporate that want to start their own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Better before to have some clarity. Go ahead. Continue what you
Yeah.
want to share.
You have choices, right? You can start your own company. HarrySardinas.com. What does that look like, right? Is that the
Oh,
best
very
idea for,
intense. Don't go there.
or maybe it's not your own startup. Maybe you want to invest in buying somebody else's business that they're ready to sell. They've already built the
Mm-hmm.
concept. There's a client
Oh, you
base.
brought
There's
very
cash
good
flow,
point. You brought very
right?
good point. I'm a big fan of. Keep going, keep
Yeah.
going.
But that typically takes a little bit more capital to get started because if I'm
Mm-hmm.
selling my business, I built
Mm-hmm.
the equity, I want a reward for that
Mm-hmm.
sweat and tears, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm ready to retire. That's my retirement fund. So be aware that buying a business that will take a lot of due diligence. You want to make sure you know what you're getting into and get a good attorney and bring the right amount of capital with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Third option would be you invest in something more turnkey, like a
Mm-hmm.
franchise, like a small business
Mm-hmm.
template, where you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself, because you have support in marketing, you have support in
Mm-hmm.
sales, you have
Yeah,
support in those financial things, you have
100%.
support in client acquisition, you have
So you don't need to
support.
take the whole weight
You
with
don't
you.
have to take all the risk, right? You have a
Yeah.
team. And if your computer breaks down or the technology doesn't work, you have somebody that you can
Mm-hmm.
call, right?
Wow.
It's a little bit easier of a transition to do it that way.
Mm. I love it.
So,
I love it, Maya. I'm glad you bring this up because people see, okay, I just want to transition or whatever, and I'm gonna start my own business. Okay. Well, if you're a corporate executive and you have certain skill set, probably working in this big company, you are your strength maybe it just maybe to acquire a business that is selling 1 million and with few things, you in 2, 3 years you can scale it to 5 million to 10 million, right? Doing team, doing leadership, some stuff that you actually learn in corporate, right? Leadership, team building, things like this. And
yeah.
so sometimes start the business from zero. You think that's your only option, but depending the skill sets, maybe you can be better off. Me that been in this journey so many times. To be honest, I prefer to buy one that is already working. That is making 1 million. Do few marketing, a little bit of branding, whatever, and scale it to 5, 10 million
Yeah.
because the 0 to 1, that's why we start the podcast with this question. Oh my God, this one is the tough one. This one,
Yeah.
when
Do
you
you know
get
the
into
statistics?
trouble. No, tell us. Love
So,
to hear.
so a startup is probably the riskiest way to get into a business. Like some
This I agree.
people feel a great idea or a widget that they
Oh yeah.
invented that the world needs, more power to you, right? But only about 10% of us are the mavericks, the Elon Musks or the Warren
Hmm.
Buffetts who can take an idea and just build it
Not
into
even
something
that to get
successful.
product market fit on the 1 million. Not too many.
Yeah, that's so
Uh,
most new businesses within the first 3 years, right? The numbers
mhm,
are than half, right? And
mhm,
and then about 80% last through the next 5 years, right? And you can look this
mhm.
up. It's on SBA.org, right? There's statistics around that, and there's tools and resources around that as well. So if you're interested to start your own company, by all means, there's lots of information out there for you, but know that this
Mm.
is
Yeah,
you
check
have to
well
wear all the
because
hats, right? You have to know all
tell
the
me
different
about it.
components.
Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And when you do it more than once, oh my God, this is.
I'm sure you have a lot of wisdom to share, Harry.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yes.
But you're
A
not
lot of
stopping.
crazy ideas. Yeah, the with this what we do. But the whole point now, Maya, I'm glad that you brought this up. That in create a better life for yourself, you have to explore your options. Okay,
Yeah.
and sometimes even if they have deployed capital, but they can invest in property with another vehicle, and then with that
Yeah.
money, yeah, I have my business. Okay, you know what? You have your dream or your business. Let's do something. Let me help you to invest in property when another vehicles there that can give you some cash flow with the money that you have already. And you know what? This extra money, take it for marketing for your business. Doesn't matter. If you fail, still
Yeah.
you have the assets. because getting into business, starting from scratch, is a process. In this journey, 0 to 1 million, what this podcast is about. I I titled this podcast like that because it's the toughest thing to do out there. It's a product market fit. However, buying an existing business, franchise, investing, and diminish your risk at the same time, the proper you can have this business dream that you want to accomplish would be something more effective, depend of your skills. Okay, I think that is this, and the reason, this podcast we have people that they are experts only going 0 to 1 million. There are other people that have come to this podcast that they only expert 1 to 10 million. Yeah, and this is what I like. By the way, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
This is what I like.
Okay.
0 to 1, 1 to 10. I love it. There are other people that love 10 to 100. And there are other people. There are people in this podcast that specialize only from 100 million to billion. So in mind, so what it says that you have this dream. You see these Google founders or this Facebook, whatever, that they start from a startup and then become a billionaires, gazillionaires, or whatever. When it comes to growing and scaling the business, probably it's not gonna be you who, because that's the other interesting thing as well. When you go to 0 to 1, yeah, then when you go to 1 to 10, you have to forget everything that you learn about 0 to 1, because 1 to 10 is completely different ball game. It's more about leadership, growth, system, procedures.
Yes.
You don't depend on
Oh,
your client anymore, so you don't need to chase clients anymore. You already have a process that the clients
yep.
come. So the whole dynamic, and some entrepreneurs that they love this entrepreneur 0 to 1, they actually get bored in the 1 to 10. You know what I mean? So you have to know which part of this entrepreneur journey you like and what you enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I do a lot of conference for the startups, and I hang out a lot with the tech founders and with the startup founders in all the communities in London, and I do a lot for them worldwide. I hang around with them, but if you want to ask me my favorite, I prefer the 1 to 10, which is I'm more comfortable in that in that space. What I like, I think we can add more value. So then, Maya, more about, I see a lot of books in your background. For some of you that are listening in the gym or in the car, let me tell you, she has a lot of books in her background. So knowledge is key, when it comes to this. So tell us about what are your favorite books? Yeah, you already told me
Oh,
why, which is one of my favorites as well, and resources. Okay, and so will literally help entrepreneurs to move forward. Correct?
yes, for sure. From good to great, I do like that. That's the red book here at the bottom. And one of my other favorites is Your Career Revolution. That's that's the book that is the framework for
Oh wow.
um, my work in coaching. And I've
Mm,
been a career coach for a really long time. I just love helping people figure out what's their next best step. And now the focus is just on entrepreneurship. How do you transition from building someone else's equity to your own? That's why most people think
wow, I
about
love
business
it.
ownership, making money, right? But
Hmm.
sometimes it's not the money that's the main driver. Sometimes it's the lifestyle. You said that earlier, right?
Hmm.
Something happened in the family, or, I want to spend more time with the kids or the grandkids,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
I've always wanted to,
Hmm.
sail around the world. That takes some time. You can't do that
Hmm.
with a job. They're going to want you there.
Yeah, the
Um,
cash rich time poor. The other day I
yeah.
was in somebody was on corporate, yeah, went to on holiday, right? And they spend a lot of money. They find the most expensive cruise, and they spend a lot of money in that holiday. Make sure that when they go to a club that was the most expensive and the nice one. And I'm like, guys, why you go on holiday and you so much money? And it was sad what they told me. They told me, Harry, we only have few days of holidays. We work hard the whole year. So when we are resting, we just don't care. We want to we don't have that much time. Yeah.
Mm.
For me, I operate a different scenario. When they invite me to speak in Singapore, I say, "Oh, we could speak in Singapore. Very good. We have 1 month work." So I go 3 weeks before because we had to prepare for the event. So to live in a holiday in Singapore. And then, of course, after the event, you need to talk with the people of the event. So bottom line, every time that we speak, we go out there to speak. We have an amazing holiday tree. So we love when it's speaking out there. So I think that, and again, you get holiday when everybody gets holiday. So the ticket prices are more expensive for the thing.
Exactly.
Like for example, this I don't for a long time ago. I had this brilliant idea that I'm gonna take Mondays off. Oh my god, that is amazing! You know the on Mondays I find it stressed out. Everybody's so stressed out on Monday. Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, so you know what? Do anything on Monday. Yeah, and it's hard. And then I told my team also. So the team also, we want them not working on Mondays. So I'm being a big headache in the company. We still trying to get that there because if they are around them, we have to be around. So we don't want them on Monday either. But we find out that Mondays are amazing. You know, the restaurants are more empty, the theater no stress. You know, and then when people relax, then you go on Tuesday, you do a bit of work. You know, so you can change the dynamic
For sure.
when you have your own company and you build your
Life
own
on your
life.
terms.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know when you want. Then you know the I one of the things that I do for my mental health is I play tennis and I dance salsa. Okay, so of course
Nice.
my salsa dancing community have nothing to do with the entrepreneurial community. We have people from everywhere there. And the other day I was dancing salsa, and one guy told me, "Harry, I'm going for to India uh, next week." I said, "Wow, okay." From London to India. So I said, "Well, how long you going for?" And the guy told me, "Harry, I'm going for 7 days." And I like, "Man, you crazy. You should go there for a month. You know, it's such a long trip. Why are you gonna do such a long trip for only 1 week? Man, stay
Yeah.
there a month or something." And the guy told me, "Harry, the problem is that I only have 7 days left of holiday." So the guy told me this, I realized how disconnected I am from reality. Yeah. That I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years. So the way that my brain operates and the way that I decide my life and to do my things have nothing to do with the corporate things, right? And then I'm grateful, right? That I'm able to have to design the life how I want to live it, to
Good
do
for
what
you.
I
And you
love.
give it you're living the example that it's possible for
Yeah.
people, right?
And on top of that, we have this podcast and amazing people that you come and I think what you're doing is great, helping people to find a better life. Not even for the money, you don't really need the money, but the fulfillment that will give you. Wow, if you can actually,
Yep, fulfillment. Or
yeah,
maybe you want to build a legacy for your family, for
exactly,
your kids.
exactly. No, but also mind, you know how good you feel after somebody comes and say, "Wow, I was working so many hours in this or the
Yeah.
boss is bullying or whatever problem they might have
Yep.
in a corporate, and they had the freedom that okay they can decide okay when to work and what people to work with. That's one of my favorite thing on the this entrepreneurial thing is like okay you hang around with you one so the my clients are all people that I like. I don't like you, you don't become my client. So the people on my
Yep.
podcast, I like all of them. They are all entrepreneurs, yeah. If I don't like you, you don't come to my podcast. You know what I mean? So the whole time, so I surround myself with people that amazing people that 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 are positive in energy to run things like this, and which you can create your own life, and from that, most important, you create. A lot of people talk about how to get toxic people out of your life. Well,
Yes.
toxic people cannot come to my life because how they gonna get in? You know,
That's
if it's a
right.
client, it's not gonna happen. If it's a business partner, it's not gonna happen. So there have no no way to get inside the thing. So of course you can design this, and to have a mentor and a coach, that would be fantastic. The other thing, Maya, okay, that I want to give your opinion is regarding coaching and mentoring. because that's the other thing as well. That these guys from corporate, they go there and say, okay, I want to do the transition of my life. And first thing they do, they go to Facebook, they go to Google, they find a coach with a Lamborghini, with a big house, say, well, I'm going to be your business coach. And then they hire that person, they pay a lot of money. Of course, they get so much too. And after they say, okay, coaching doesn't work. I will never have a coach again. I will never have a mentor again.
Oh,
So
wow.
tell us, yeah, we
Tell you that?
total. And yeah, people that have bad experiences, this is how they react, And
Well,
so what is your opinion regarding this? Because or let me reframe the question.
yeah.
What people should be looking to have a coach and a mentor that actually work for them and they to avoid these bad experiences. Okay.
So I can understand the bad experiences. I've been burned too, but you learn.
We all been there. We all been
We've
there.
all been there. We learn. I'm of the opinion that I'm a coach, right? Every good coach should have a coach as well. I have several actually. So you got to make sure it's a good fit for you. Does it fit what you're looking for, right? I mean, if you're trying to make the Super Bowl, you're not going to hire a tennis coach. Make sure it fits and the coach has the skill sets. Especially people who have been in the world of work.
And
I mean, if you've been a leader, you hired, right? You hired people. Would you hire this person for your company? Yes or no? Do they have the qualifications? And then it has to be a good fit for you too, right? Your personality styles have to mesh. Because if you don't have a connection, that person is probably not going to get you where you want to go. This is why I have an introductory call. Let's just see if this is a good fit because I don't work with everybody either, right? I choose my clients.
100%.
And we need to make sure this is a good fit for both of us, right? So it's a free conversation, right? Free conversation. Why not explore? I think you need to have an open mind. Be open to learn new things. Otherwise, I don't think you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur because business always changes and you have to adjust.
And you have to learn. But also, what do you want to achieve, right? Because, for example, what you specialize, okay, which is helping people in the corporate to do that transition, okay, and not necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. There are several options, and you are helping them to evaluate what their strength and work with them what possible solution to try to get the risk as lower as possible, which is something that is specific, okay, and then people the other day, for example, it was a lawyer came to this podcast, and I remember that he was hiring a coach, and I think he was in 1 million. He was in 1 million, and he wants to scale to 5, something like that. Okay, I told me, Harry, I have very interesting process with my coaching hiring thing because he find one that he was very good coach for lawyers, helping them to go to 0 to 500,000. And then he found another coach that was good, 5 million to whatever. And eventually he find a coach that actually specializes in 1 to 5, which is exactly what he really needed. Okay.
Yeah.
So exactly what you said. Number one is fit, but the other one is culture. Okay. If
Yeah, definitely.
the culture of your clients emulate your own culture, right? If you are, and that goes with your core values. Okay, so if the core values, it doesn't matter that you're the best coach in the world if your client don't have your same core values. Yeah, let's say that in terms of, I don't know, customer service, in terms of, I don't know, integrity, in terms of so many different levels, it's not going to be a good fit. And that doesn't mean that it's good or bad coach. It's just that the value culture is not there, and without that, it's going to be difficult to help that person. Okay, that's what the assessment. The questions are very good, very constructive.
Yeah, you need the right questions. That's important. I help with that for sure.
So then, Maya, what are your message? What is the last message that you have for people in corporate that want to do this transition? What should you tell them?
So why not believe in yourself what do you have to lose with just having a conversation and exploring if you can do it now? If now's not the right time, that's fine. Then let's find the right time and make a plan. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You already have a lot of skills that transfer well into entrepreneurship. I'll show you what they are. And build your own equity in somebody else's. You can work for yourself, but never be by yourself, right? It is possible to do it with a support team. Entrepreneurship is a team sport. You're not going to go at it alone. You just need to be connected to the right resources. So, MajaTaylor.com, schedule a quick call, and we'll figure out where we need to take you. And like I said, the assessment initially is free.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And I think, Maya, that what are the most interesting thing about this process, right? Is again to see someone which is cash rich and time poor, because time is the most valuable resource.
Yes.
I talk about a concept that I love, call it a millionaire lifestyle. What it means is that you don't even need to have a million in your bank account, but you live your millionaire lifestyle, meaning you have time, okay,
Yes.
to be in peace or to meditate or to do things that you love, even to cook your own food, right? That
Yeah,
that thing is priceless, because it has an impact on your health, right? Stress out, and I
that's
see a
right.
lot of people and
There's
a lot
no
of
reason why you should stay miserable.
hmm
Why? Like, if
hmm
you're spending most of your waking hours at work in a job that you hate, what are you doing there? What are you doing there?
and then taking money and eating from restaurant because you don't have time to buy your own food, so it affect your body, and then you don't have a good sleep, and then you stress out. And
Yeah.
is that your life? There are other solutions. This is how burnt out happen. This is how people are over stressed. People having a lot of mental health issues. So there are people need to know that there are solutions and professionals like you out there that
Yeah,
that
let's
can
figure out
reach
how to
out.
build your own equity in somebody instead of somebody else's. And if it
I
means
love the
you want
concept.
more time instead of more money, or you want both, there is a model
Mhm.
out there for you. Let's find it.
Wow, very powerful. Thank you so much, Maya. I think you're great, so clever, very good. And how you came with this idea, by the way? What gave you this idea to have build a business out of this?
So,
It's actually a great idea.
is it? So it's not just my idea. There's a whole group of us. So the Entrepreneur
Oh
Source
wow.
is, I mean, I'm a franchisee of the Entrepreneur Source, right? So I own my own company,
Mm.
but under the umbrella,
Oh
and
wow,
it was born out of
brilliant.
there are people who are ready, willing, and able to buy a business. Like you have an entrepreneurial mindset, but not everybody is there. There are the people who are on the fence, the people who have maybe wondered about it or thought, I can't do it. It's too hard. I don't have the money. Will I have the right skills to do it? And they have all this doubt. So we're targeting that kind of audience to help them see how possible it is, because the world would be a better place if we had more successful and capable entrepreneurs and people who are in it for themselves and then also help the community, right? Because if you're stuck in a job where either you don't appreciate it or you don't make enough money, you don't have time for your family or go to the kids' ball games or whatever, right? That is a miserable way to just go from day to day. I
Mhm.
think it makes it a better world if people can really invest themselves into things that they're happy about, that they feel energized by, because it spills over onto the rest of the world and the people they come into contact with, right?
Mhm.
I mean, some people that I work with, they're not in it for the money and they have all the time, but they want to give back to their community, right? I
Mhm.
have a guy who recently came out of retirement, had a very successful career in business, but he was 3 months into retirement and then decided, you know what, I'm bored. I can't do this. I've repaired everything there is to repair in the house. We've gone on some trips. I'm done with this. What do you have? How can you approach it from a service, from a purposeful, meaningful work perspective, right? So you kind of have to decide for yourself what's most important to you. Rank it for me. Is it money? Is it time and flexibility? Spending more time with the people that you love and care about? Or do you want to really contribute meaningfully to the planet, to your community? Maybe you still want to grow
Mhm.
in your own capacity, right? What like there are models for all kinds of those interests. And I help people to connect to that who maybe were doubting themselves or didn't think it was possible. It is possible. That's the
Yeah.
message.
This I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And on that note, I want to thank you for being in our podcast and for all
Oh,
of you
thank you.
listening. Pleasure. And for all of you listening the podcast, you now on next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneur like Maya break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.